It's recording now. Pat. Hi, Pat.
Hi.
Okay.
Oh, wrong
Okay.
Pat.
Anybody got any exploits or anything they want to talk about before we get going here?
Yeah, Gita, tell them about how you're really loading up on the university.
Yeah, it accepts the link, the account with the routing number. I mean, I'm playing around with different numbers, but then like 2 or 3 days later, it kicks it back. I just can't figure out why it accepts it and then it kicked it out, because if it's not the correct routing number that's linked to the account, it usually rejects it immediately. So I don't get it.
Okay, what routing number are you using?
I'm using, I must have put in about 13 of them, different ones. For the one I used last, Marshall had just called me before the call, and he told me my second account has, for Wells Fargo, it has the first 3 numbers is 053. So he says, I'll look through the whole Federal Reserve Bank's numbers and match up the 053 with whichever one you see, and this one matches up with Charlotte. So I sent in those numbers with my passport account number, and then I also put my actual checking account routing number with my passport number as the account number to see which one will go through. So we'll see in the next couple of days, and I'll let you guys know.
Okay, you're going to have to. You're going to have to do You're probably going to have to do the operating procedure 1 appendices and get those off to your Federal Reserve Bank that you're located in. So I'll cover that when we get into the going here. Okay. But for right now, I'm going to start off with talking about the money order that I had Tom put up there on the site today. This money order goes directly to the Treasury. Okay? I tried to streamline it down, take some of the stuff out, and put it in to where you're going directly to the Treasury, as you're the executive officer over this account. And the Treasury routing number is, like I said last call, the Social Security card is nothing but telling you what your routing numbers are, okay? Now, you have to get your routing numbers and see on the front or the top, the Treasury routing number is your Social Security number. So that goes on this money order as the Treasury routing number, and then the U.S. citizenship, okay? It's 2 words, citizenship, okay? The ship is what you have, a financial vessel. See? And it's registered with the Treasury. And you go back through the statutes at large about registering a vessel with the Treasury. Okay? All vessels had to be registered with the Treasury. And that's going to be your birth certificate, your certificate of live birth number. That's your registration of your citizenship. Okay? So that's the number that goes on this. And then you'll sign as the ship master authorized representative. Okay? And it's all about a citizenship account at the Treasury. And then you can basically make this money order out and direct them to order the delivery of a U.S. Treasury check to, like, the car dealership. Okay? You make the money order out to the United States Treasury. So you're offloading cargo off of your ship into the United States Treasury warehouse under your Social Security number. Okay, so it's being held there under that number. Now, you turn around and on the back, you're going to order delivery of that, and you're going to give the endorsement on that, and you put down as a mail U.S. Treasury check, as a Treasury warehouse claim check to set off item, and then you could put like the VIN number of the vehicle or whatever. Then you make out the name is going to be the car dealership or whoever you want to send this to. Then you need their EIN number. That's where the W-9 comes in. You need to get their EIN number to place on this money order. And then you put down their resident address. And then you endorse it as the American Executive Postmaster. Okay? You're the postmaster, and you're also the master of the ship. Then it will go, and you send this into the Treasury. Then the assigned Treasury obligation concurrence and U.S. Treasury check number, they have to write the Treasury check number that basically is doing the offset or the warehouse claim. And then I've got down at the bottom, send a receipt copy of this processed money order to the American Executive Post Office address, completed by Treasury agent. Okay? So that's all in a nutshell right there. When you understand that you take the cargo off the ship, put it in the U.S. warehouse, then the U.S. warehouse, you order them to send a check to whoever as a U.S. Treasury check. That check is not money. It's a warehouse claim. They have to process it back so that it can go to the warehouse, remove the cargo from the warehouse, and then process it back down to the bank. Okay? So I'm working on the one for the Federal Reserve banking one. But you have to first get identified that you are authorized to do these. And that's with the, like I said last call, the Postal, the passports, they took that means away from the post office. That was supposed to be the people's banking system, was the post offices. Well, Johnson and the bankers and everything in 1966 shut down the postal savings account and also handed all of the postal banking systems tied to the Treasury over to the Federal Reserve banks. Good old LBJ. What a shithead. Okay? He's also one of the guys behind the scene that helped get Kennedy out of there, too. So, we have to go in and you do the operating circulars, okay? And I had Tom post those up on the group today, okay? The new operating circulars. The very first thing on Appendix 1 you will see is routing ABA number. That is your routing ABA number. That is the number that's on the back of your Social Security card. As an individual, you have a letter. All the commercial places have numbers. So you put that down just the way it is on the back of that Social Security card. That's your ABA number. The name of the financial institution is on the other side in all capital letters or whatever. But it is Citizen-Ship. That's the name of your financial institution. And then you come in and you put your name down there and put your name in capital first letters, small letters. And then your title is American Executive Owner. There isn't too much to these forms. The only thing was understanding the routing ABA number. And then you have to send this to the right bank. Okay? The servicing FRB office. That is not, you don't take the number, that letter, somebody's got to be muted out.
Yeah, but me.
Okay? The servicing FRB office is in what is your federal zone of, like, you don't take the letter and say, well, F is for Atlanta. No, that's not right. I'm here in Iowa. What the hell am I going to Atlanta for? I got Kansas City Federal Reserve Bank closer, I got Chicago closer, and I got Minneapolis closer. Those are the three that are around me. Atlanta's way over on the East Coast. So, you got to think about some of this stuff, and basically it did nothing. Some of this stuff just never really made sense, but we never could put our finger on why it didn't make sense. Now we can. Because you have to send it to your servicing FRB office. Which one services your banks in town? Okay? That's the Federal Reserve Bank that you need to go to. And you identify that, and then when you fill out this form and put down the account the right way, then you will probably get your black card. Because the black card is just an authorization card stating that you have now an account on file with the Federal Reserve Bank, with the black ops people. Okay? The bankers are the debtor people, so they're the black ops people. The dead money system. Then, now you would put that on the money order, and I'm working on that money order to set that up, and I'll have Tom post that tomorrow. And in most cases, we will have this sent out. There's possibility of having Federal Reserve checks sent out to certain people, or we just hand it over to them, and they have it deposited into their checking account, commercial bank account, and they would endorse the back of this. So I'm trying to rework the back of this now, sort of the way I did the one for the Treasury. But, yeah, that's the main problem that most people have had. We've been going to the wrong Federal Reserve Bank, but it still should be able to possibly to go through some of those banks, but we have to have the authorization. Then you can get into the FedWire process of it under, I think it's,
you fade it out, Patrick.
It's under Operating Circular number 6.
Okay.
Okay. And that is going into the FedWire system. FedWire Fund Service. And there you would have to sign up to get into the FedWire.
And then we could do online ACH then.
Well, you get in and basically you get the first one filled out, and basically they may start talking to you, okay? I don't know everything, Tom, okay?
Right. Okay.
I'm just trying to put some logic into what was going wrong out here.
Right.
When you said zone, did you mean district?
Huh?
Because when you said zone, like, you know, each bank has a zone, did you mean district? Because I started typing in some of the I would just take the number and then Google it.
Where are you located?
I'm right now. I'm driving in a van.
Okay,
I was located in Michigan.
Where is your address? Where's your address?
Where's
your permanent address? Where's your permanent address to your Social Security card is attached to?
Okay.
Where is it?
Well, Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Okay. Then it's in Michigan. Okay.
Right.
So
and I typed
you have
right.
You have to find that.
Okay, I think I did, but what I'm finding out is that Atlanta has a bunch
Stop.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
You people out here, you need to go and watch the movie Burlesque. Okay?
Mm.
At the very end of it, the moral of the story came through at the very end. When Allie comes up to Cher, and Cher says, I don't want to hear anything more. And Allie says to her, do you ever stop and hear anything other than what you are saying? People are running off the mouth, and the only thing that they hear is themselves. You need to shut up and listen to somebody else for a change. The court has tried to tell people out here a lot of things, but people keep running off the mouth like an old shithead out there in North Carolina. He's going to fight him every which way. His mind is so messed up that he can't hear what the judge is trying to tell him. The judge is trying to give him some answers, but he doesn't hear them. They've been telling us answers. I have to come back and sit back and think about what was being said, and I said, oh, shit, they told me the answer right there. But for the most part, most people out here are running off the mouth, thinking that they know all the damn answers. You need to listen to what other people are telling you, and then think about it before you open mouth and insert your damn foot. Okay, enough said on that subject. Other than that, the movie is a pretty good movie, too.
Yeah, I just watched it the other day.
I like musicals like that.
Yeah.
Especially when it's got good-looking women in it, too. Okay. Yeah, on to this deal, okay? You have to get your Federal Reserve account. You have to stop trying to fight the system. You have to start learning to understand the system, okay? If you're on the run for any reason out here, you have to turn around and you have to petition, or you have to go to the governor, and you, as an American executive, you give him an order to become the executor over those charges. You give him your certificate of live birth. You pass it over to him, your driver's license, whatever. You hand it over to him, and you tell him he's now, because the governor of every state is the provost marshal of that state. They have the power to basically execute the action and bring it to settlement, clear the books, remove it off the books. That's who you've got to go to, but if you're in a court scenario, you do it to the judge. You make him the executor. You're the executive. Stop trying to be the executor of the damn thing. You're not the executrix or the executor. You make the judge. You're the one that's in charge, the executive officer, giving the executive orders. I wrote one up the other day for a guy yesterday to take that back down to his court case. Put a copy of the certificate of live birth on there, wrote it up, say basically that the judge is being assigned to become the executor in this item. I said, you hand this copy to him, but you sign and date and seal this document. Also put your 3-cent stamp on it. Do not crucify this document yet because you're not surrendering it. You're just passing it over for settlement of that charge. Whether it be, and you can do this with your driver's license, whatever document they want. You pass it over to them. Okay? Now, I also put on there Title 15, Chapter 1, Section 2. That if that judge does not comply, basically he and his corporation could get wiped out to the tune of $100 million. That will be prosecuted into the federal court. As an individual, he could be facing $1 million and up to 10 years in jail. Okay, somebody's got to mute out.
Yeah, I've just muted them out. 777 area code is muted out.
Okay. But see, this is all what it... The guy brought this up last Thursday about this. Okay? I don't know how many of you people on the call went and checked out that title. But it's monopolies and combined combinations in restraint of trade. Monopolizing trade, a felony, penalty. $100 million, $1 million, imprisonment, 10 years. Those judges will run like hell. Most of it's all fraudulent charges anyway, and you can come as the executor and veto that charge, that bill. Because you are not operating in a commercial venture. People have to start learning to use the right stuff and start standing like an executive, okay? You can even walk into court and represent somebody else in the situation. Why? Because it says so in the Constitution. As soon as you turn 25 and as soon as you understand the law, and the law that we need to understand is very simple, you don't use their laws. Pretty simple. You come in as the executive. They are the foreigners in this damn country with their charter organizations trying to control us. So you stand tall in the saddle, okay? And shoot them up. That you can come in as another to help another person, that you've got to keep that other person quiet if you're going to represent them. You tell them to shut the hell up while I'm talking. The judge will try and get to him to talk. That's the play. But you're coming in under the Constitution. If you're over the age of 25, you can represent another man or woman, whatever. Because that's the legal age of a representative. Don't look to common law either, because common law can work against you. They've been here running these laws for about 100 years. Well, after a certain period of time, Did you hear that, Tom?
Hello? Hello?
Tom. I think we lost.
Yes, I heard that. I pushed. There is a Q&A button here which I didn't see, and it got pushed. I turned it off.
Okay.
I'll have to find out what that even does.
Oh, don't go playing with buttons until we get this thing done.
Well, I was trying to clear my.
Yeah. You're supposed to be listening, not playing with buttons.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I actually was muting myself out, and it pushed the wrong thing.
Almost like a teacher in school telling little Tommy, turn around and pay attention. Little Susie, stop pulling on Jack's hair or something. I mean, come on, people.
I was nowhere near the button, so I have to figure out how to use this panel.
Hey, Tommy's on a roll. Let him go.
Yeah, go.
There isn't too much more to say. I mean, basically, this is so damn simple. Like I told the other guy, Dave, you go in and you take the bill. You veto. You do not accept for value a bill. You veto the bill as the executive officer over that account. You put a stamp on the one side, you seal that, and a 3-cent stamp, and then you sign the front side, you flip it over, and on the back side, on the front side, you would say, see counter executive order. On the back side, then you tell them to set that off against the fees that they owe back to the Treasury because they had to borrow the money to begin with. Now, you got to make sure that this company basically went to the bank and had to borrow money. Now, if they did, then they had to borrow from the Treasury. And you are one of the people out there in the whole Treasury. So you set that off. You order them to set that off. You give them your routing number, your Social Security number, or whatever, and order them to set that off. Sign it and date it. Put another 3-cent stamp on the back side. Send it back to them. You have gotten the services. I have received the services. So basically, now you can set this off from the charges that you owe back to the Treasury. I owe you nothing. You use my money. I want my services. They're not out anything. In fact, they're saving money by not having to pay it back to the Treasury. The only thing is they probably won't be able to give quite as much money over to their shareholders this time around. But we don't give a shit about their shareholders. They're just vampires anyway. You want to help your friends, your fellow companies out here, and those are your friends. Okay? They're not your enemies. The bankers are the enemies, okay? They're the ones that are forcing these companies to use their banking system. You want to help your friends? You pay that utility company a year in advance. Then he doesn't have to go and borrow the money from the bank. You've got to learn how the banking system operates and how real love thy neighbor really works. Okay? So I'll have this new money order up there, but just those simple little things on the operating procedures, and you should be able to turn around and send those in. You can either send them in, do them online, and punch it and say send or you can pick them off as PDFs, fill them out, and send them in by email. Or you can turn around, print them out, fill them out, and send them in by fax. You've got 3 options to get them in there. And then you can turn around, if you run into problems with some of these, then you've got the power behind you. Now you have the access to your item, but you have to go to your service area Federal Reserve Bank. And that service area is the one that's identified on your Social Security card. Not by the number, not by the letter, by the address. Your zip code plus 4 digits, your federal zone. See, that number had to come into power or into play here. You're in a federal zone, so you have to use the federal zone Federal Reserve Bank that's in your zone. Okay. That's about 35 minutes. I gave you about 6 years worth of information there in about 35 minutes.
Yes, very compact. Love it.
And I mean, I even gave you, basically you can get those money orders right off to the Treasury. Whether you need to send a certificate of live birth with it, I don't think so. Okay? You come in and you put your fingerprints and everything else on it, basically say, I'm here and I'm giving you an executive order. You send that into the Treasury, to the Treasury Administrative Postmaster. And on the outside of the envelope, you put over on the right side, executive order. Or on the left, let me see. On the left-hand side, right underneath your address, you put executive order. Down underneath on the bottom left-hand side, you put certificate of mailing. Okay? Now, you can write the number in there. You can also get these little certificate of mailing labels. You put a 3-cent stamp on it, or whatever, and you certify it. You put your postmark there. It doesn't make any sense. The post office is giving it right back to us. They don't punch that number into their machine whatsoever.
Hmm.
You're the one that's holding the certificate of mailing. So why do you need to pay $1.30 for it? And then you drop it in the drop box. You don't drop it across the counter. Just like the guy said the other night, okay? Take a look at some of your letters that you get back from the IRS. I got one here somewhere. Just got it the other day. Shit, I got to forget much shit here. Yeah, here it is. Okay. The little sticker up in the right-hand corner. Pre-sorted. First-class mail. Postage and fees paid. IRS. Permit number G48. What the shit? They don't got any money. How could they pay anything? That's a crock of bullshit. They're using our money in the postal system, saying that the postage and fees are already paid by our labor, that the post office is borrowing from us to operate because they're a corporation.
Hmm.
Yeah, talk about piece of bullshit. Yeah, and then they're trying to penalize, put a penalty in there to try and even get more money out of us. So, go and get some little labels, okay? Avery, okay? There's programs you can get those and little stickers, and then you come in and put first class mail, postage and fees paid per permit number, and then put your passport number in there. Put that sticker up there where the stamp goes and send it. But do not send it across the counter. Do not put it in your mailbox. You drop it in one of their drop boxes. The guy said he's been doing that for a while. And see, we're giving them the account that basically they're borrowing from anyway. Our passport number.
Sure.
That's the right of passage of that mail. That mail is able to pass through the port. So that's our permit number. I wish I would have known this about 4 years ago. It would have saved me about $20,000. And then you don't use certified mail or registered mail. Both of those are trademarked. They ain't worth a shit.
You all right?
Yeah, hell, I've done some overnight things, and basically it's about a week later before the damn thing shows up. Hey, $20. And, yeah, I could have sent a snail mail and would have gotten there faster. Okay. Go ahead and open up the questions.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to push that button because I don't know what to do. We'll just go ahead like we are now. But I have a question. If we do one of these Treasury money orders to ourselves, the set-off item is anything we want to put in there, like what we would put on a memo line. And we would have our name. And the question is the EIN, use our state number for the EIN?
You could use either one, okay? Depending on what your bank account you've got set up. If you got an EIN for your estate set up bank account, non-interest bearing checking account, then you can use that one. If you don't argue with me, Tom, just listen, okay? The other one is the foreign grantor trust EIN, okay? If you have a bank account set up there, then non-interest bearing, then you could use that one, okay? Or you send it over to Aunt Lucy and have her give you some money back, okay? But you, in that case, you would turn around and you need to probably put their Social Security number in that place.
Okay, I couldn't put my Social Security number there.
Well, you got an EIN. Why would you put a Social Security number there?
Well, I don't. My bank account is not set up for the estate. It's just set up for me right now.
Well, get down there and get the one set up as a non-interest bearing with an EIN for it, okay?
I'll go do that.
Yeah. You could put the EIN in, get the check, and then go open up the account.
True.
I mean, when you get a treasury check back and basically the bank wants to get that money into their account, it's best to have the check in hand. They will try and everything in the world to open up an account with a treasury check.
Yep.
I mean,
you've mentioned.
Yeah, they got dollar bills in their eyes.
Right. You've mentioned that approach before. Thank you.
Okay. You guys got to start thinking outside the box. I tried to tear the walls down and open this damn box up, but it seems like I'm the only one that's inside the box. Deacon out, you guys. and you just ain't coming in, or whatever. Or I'm outside and you're all inside, just looking through the peepholes.
That's more like it. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Any other questions?
I guess it's going to be a short call.
I guess so. I mean,
I pissed everybody off.
No, you give us so much information that our brains get on overload and we're processing it. I understand what you said. I've got to go do it.
You got to sit and think about it now. You've got the information. Okay, the teacher put the information out there. Now you've got to analyze what the teacher told you, and then you basically do the homework.
Absolutely.
Question.
Yes.
Or actually comment, I guess. This is a new conference call system. Does everybody know how to get to the replay so they can listen to it tomorrow?
I will post that. There is a playback number. It's just like the dial-in number. Instead of 1200, it's 1299.
Correct. Just want to make sure everybody knew that.
But
and then you put the access code in, right?
Yes.
Yes, and that will take you to the call.
Same access code, but you just use that 1299.
But I probably have a link to the MP3, so I will post that as usual in the link section and also back the call up on eConcurrent.
Yeah. But I've downloaded or somebody sent me some links from some of these other conferences that some of these people have had out here, going over filling out the operating procedures. And see, most of these people that have these black cards, okay, they come on the call and basically say, well, I got my black card, you don't have your black card, basically, yabba, 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 okay? But they're not accessing that account, okay? They don't know how to do anything with it, okay? They have no proof that basically they have any access to that account. If they did, they would have been trying to help their fellow man, saying, hey, it's this damn simple. All you need to do is go in and use the number on the back of the Social Security card. See, they don't even know that. They got a black card somehow, but did they use the right number? We don't know, okay? They don't know, okay? And then they don't know how to access it to do anything with it. See, that black card is nothing more than an authorization that you have an account now established with that Federal Reserve Bank. Now, with that black card, you can show your local bank, who is also tied to that Federal Reserve Bank, that you have an account with that Federal Reserve Bank, and that local bank is going to have to acknowledge you. So when you want to put a money order in through to that Federal Reserve Bank, that local bank is going to have to honor it. Now, that black card is like the card of death, but it's the death card to that bank if they don't honor it. Same thing. It's almost like a death card to the court. You can go in and court and say, I want to settle this. Here's my death card. You either do it or you're dead. because we'll take you out with Title 15, Chapter 1, Section 2. Have a nice time in jail for maybe up to 10 years. Getting tired of seeing all these bankers turn around and make this country into a prison, a debtor's prison system for their benefit. This country was never supposed to be a debtor prison. That's what our founding fathers set up to begin with.
Bill Smith and Lawrence Singleton.
Hey, Patrick, I think I may have mentioned to you before that I countermanded the court's claim on me, back to myself, and they just told me to pound salt. They said, like, oh, we only collect money, we don't give any money out. And I got names
but
too.
You have to order them to be the executor first.
Right.
Okay? Then, as a sub-order, executive order, after you've established that fact, then you give the additional executive orders saying that I want my appearance bond or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Just write out some orders, like from my court.
Yes.
From my court of equity, yeah. I'll give them a notice to cure with those instructions.
Yeah, and then basically you would put a notice into that place that basically like impounded your vehicle.
Right.
That basically you could bring charges against them. Basically, you better give me my money back and just wipe this off your books. You better not stop taking orders from the damn police officers out here to impound a vehicle when they don't have the authority or the jurisdictions to do that.
Yeah, give them an order to pay me my money back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Reimburse me, or basically I will take you to court.
Right. Because they unlawfully, stole my vehicle.
Yeah, but I would put that order into the court to have the court order that impound place to give the money back.
Right. So I just didn't give them an order. All I did was give them a countermand.
Yeah, you need to make the judge the executor of those charges, of that court case.
Mm-hmm.
All items that evolve around that court case. You make him the executor to settle them.
Right.
Because he is basically operating in monopolizing trade and putting restraints on your right of trade, free trade. Hampering, putting restrictions on you, saying, hey, you got to wear a seatbelt. Now, I don't think that is covered in the real trade laws. If I want to be hanging over the bow on my ship, I can be hanging over the bow. I don't need a damn seatbelt.
And then if I want to be a prick, I can say, like, I want to subscribe to oath to support and defend.
No, you don't go there.
Don't go there? Okay.
Yes. See, that's arguing.
Right.
You're giving orders. You don't argue. You give orders.
Right.
Okay?
Got it.
You keep it simple.
Right.
Okay?
I'm the executive postmaster, and he's my executor.
You're the American executive, and basically you're giving him, you are assigning him an executive order of being the executor to settle this court case, this postal fraudulent court case, if you want to say it that way.
Good. I'm muting out. Thank you.
Okay. But use the mail in the process and use your seal and your fingerprints, okay, showing that you're alive. about 2 weeks ago, I talked to the Court of International Trade, to the clerk's office. Okay? They said, well, we're going to be sending your stuff back. I said, you better not send that stuff back. And if you do send it back, you better tell me why it's being sent back, and then it better be under signature of who basically is the one that is sending that back.
Right.
I still haven't received it because they ain't going to sign it.
I don't have any paperwork from the court about it. Has a dollar amount I owed, but there's no orders from a judge with no signature.
Yeah. See, it's all fraud, and then basically they operate under threat and intimidation, and they don't have a seal in a lot of cases on those. Even the warrants that are out here. Those warrants, 90% of the warrants that arrest people are invalid.
Right.
Read what it says is required on a warrant. And you'll see that those warrants do not have it. But yet the sheriff and everybody else is running around with it thinking that they're all valid.
Yeah, that would be good information to have in your hat.
Yeah, and see, if they arrest you on a warrant, you're supposed to be taken right in front of that magistrate. Right then and there. Whoever issued that warrant, that is who you're supposed to be taken in front of. Not to be thrown in jail over a weekend and then see the judge on Monday. That's total bullshit. That's false imprisonment. See, if you guys want to really read some real laws, check those laws out.
For sure.
Everything out here is all about money. You just have to make them be the executor, and you have to give them the means to set it off, or you have to veto it. And make them prove that you don't have the power to veto that.
Yeah, I should veto the charges and then
just take one thing at a time, okay? Yeah. Okay? Just do one thing, get the court to do one thing, and then you can gain the knowledge and your understanding, and then go to the next level if you want to the next time around if you get in trouble. Okay? But just get the hell out of their system right now. Do it and order them to set it off.
Right.
Okay? Don't try and play games with them or anything like that.
Right, just set it off, take a loss on it, and get out.
Yeah, you turn it over to them to settle.
Yeah. They probably already settled it. They're just trying to settle again.
But you have to give them a document. Like, you turn around, you give them a written document, mailed, and you hand it to the bailiff with postage on it.
Right.
Now that's addressed to that judge, that he is the executor over that item. And he cannot refuse it. He is an administrative court. You are an executive court. You have superiority over him. It's right in the Constitution. We, the people, step forward to establish the shithead chartered government. And we can destroy it at the same time if we're the creator of it.
Yeah, we just got to remind them once in a while.
Yeah. And then the other thing is about people not understanding what citizenship is all about. See, they claim you're a citizen, and then they also used the word citizenship. Two different words. One is a citizenship. It's not a warship, it's a citizenship. A non-combatant ship.
Yeah.
A merchant ship. Because that's what you are. You are a merchant.
Right.
And that's why Title 46 comes into play. Shipping. Two words there, too. And then it talks about merchant marines in there. Or maritime merchants on a non-combatant vessel. Okay, I've rendered them right again. Go ahead and ask your questions if you got any. Is there anybody left on the call, Tom?
Yeah, there's about 20 people here. Yeah.
Yes.
This Bill. Have you mentioned anything about that? You were telling me about the Operation Circular.
Yeah, you're going to have to listen to the first part of the audio. You came in late.
Oh man.
I heard when you came in. So you missed almost all of it.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
Okay, hey, Pat.
Yeah.
Okay, so say I got some outstanding warrants. Now, when they sent it, it was unsigned, and I sent it back. The only thing I knew at the time, which was the UCC code, the evidence without dishonor.
You got to talk and you got to speak clearly, okay? If you're going to talk, I want to hear you talk, okay? Don't mumble, okay?
Okay, so I got a warrant. How do I get rid of it?
Okay. Does it have a judge's name on it?
Yep, sure does. But
Okay.
it's not signed.
Then you send a mailing back to him under certificate of mailing, and you give him an executive order that he is to set that off from either the driver's license, the certificate of title to the vehicle, or from your certificate of live birth. You give him what instrument is needed to pay and settle this charge. And then you also address that Title 15, Chapter 1, Section 2. That you give him an executive order. You don't argue any of this other garbage. Like Rod Class has been out there trying to argue traffic tickets for over 2 or 3 years now.
Okay, say that I do that, and it's still in the records. What's the next step after that?
You basically tell him to purge the records because he's the executor. Now, if he doesn't, then you tell him you're going to go to the provost marshal, the governor. The governor of the state is your provost marshal, okay? He has the right to stay an execution, doesn't he?
Yes.
Right?
Well, when I looked at their oath,
does he or doesn't he?
I don't know anymore.
I mean, wait a minute. How many movies have been out here about the governor staying an execution for somebody that's on death row? You've never seen one of those movies? Where you been?
Trying to figure this out.
Huh?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Then you would put, if the court is not, and then you would file charges with the Attorney General, okay, the governor, about that judge, and also go into Title 15 and see about the commission. You would file that into the federal court about that judge. But he'd better read that. And basically, like the guy said the other day, when he brought that up in court, that judge dismissed that whole situation. I don't know whether that guy's on the call tonight or not, but I wish he was. Need a little backup here. Hard fact.
No, you don't, Patrick. But yes, it would be nice if he's on here, but I guess he's not responding. It would be nice if he's on here, but he's not responding.
I'm here, Patrick.
Okay.
He basically has very little knowledge of any of this except for what he's heard me yapping when we're working or whatever. And he's a young kid, and driving 35 minutes every day to this job site, I had a captive audience. And we went all day rapping about this, and I said, well, I got these tickets coming up for that. I said, well, this was 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I said, well, what you need to do is withdraw your signature. And I went through, any pledges, bonds, or, the whole 9 yards. And then I said, shut up. Don't say another word. Let them make the next move. And then I said, if it goes any farther, allege conspiracy to defraud, and then shut your mouth again. And I didn't know he was literally listening to me, and we were just passing the time at work. Well, he calls me up with his father-in-law, and I've known his father-in-law for years, and he's been listening to me here, and he just keeps thinking, well, show me the money. He thinks this is all twisted tale, but he's driving around with his father-in-law, and he tells me flat out, he goes, hey, man, I was in court the other day, and I told him what you told me. And I said, well, what did I tell you? And he explained it. He had a public defender. The public defender, he said his eyes got real big. He says, sit here for a few minutes. He went over there and powwowed with the prosecutor and then up to the judge, and he said they were talking, out of view of everybody. He came back, and he had driving without a license, failure to appear, 3 or 4 charges. And, here's a kid that you would think would just, 22 years old would get fried, he's kind of a punk if I'll judge him. He's a punk. And he said, all charges dismissed, they go, charges dismissed, and just pay the public defender $125. And he agreed to that, and out the door he went, happy as a lark.
Yeah.
Now I have another kid.
Also paying the public defender too.
Well, that's what I told him. I said, well, you could, because when I went through my, here's what happened with me a few years ago. I'd been driving, and they no license plate on the front, and they had a little sheriff sting up here in the foothills outside Boise. I was going to camp with my stepdad and my mom, and he pulled me over. There was a warrant for my arrest because of child support at the time, and then I actually showed him a copy of my driver's license because it was under the seat of the truck. I didn't realize it. My license plate was under the seat. Didn't realize it. No, I hadn't registered the truck since I bought it for 2 years. And he looks at me, and I said, well, I have a health and welfare thing Thursday. It's a hearing, thing we're supposed to settle all this. And he says, well, I don't see any point of arresting you. I don't see how that helps anybody. He says, I should arrest you, but then I said, well, hey, I have the right to free travel. And he looked at me and he goes, I don't want to go there.
Yeah.
So they ran everything and everything else. And once I showed him, and he saw my binder of all the treasury package and all the stuff that never worked, but he could see it, security agreements, as I was going through my binder to pull out the right papers that I had. And it looked like I was running away with sleeping bags and stuff in the back seat of the truck. Well, I was about 1.5 miles from the campground, and he asked me 3 times, are you sure you're going camping, and who are you camping with? And because the front brakes had just totally disintegrated, so I had to pull over right when they pulled me over. I came around the corner, the brakes went out, and Next thing you know, they're sitting there and they're pulling people over. Well, he wrote me up for this, and he says, do me a favor and go register this truck at this little mountain community. And so when you're driving, nobody will mess with you. And he says, would you like me to drive you to the campground? And I said, well, sure. And so he gives me a ride, probably to see if I was lying to him or not. And so I asked him if he would make up a story to scare my mom, but he wouldn't. He said he couldn't do that. He was on the clock. So he drives me right up to the camp, right up to their trailer, lets me out and everything, and told me to have a nice night. Now, I threw all the stuff back at the clerk, but they claim they didn't receive it within the 3 days. And what I did is, with 2 or 3 visits to the court, I had and this is the last court in Idaho where they actually hung somebody in 1898 or something like that. So I'm in this old-fashioned courthouse, and this prosecutor, and I'm sitting right there at the rail, and the judge is in chambers. And if I had paid health and welfare, they would have dismissed it. And he goes, his back's to me about 5 feet away. He goes, well, there'll be, we'll dismiss things and we'll have a small $100 fine. And I said, there will be no fine. And then I said, otherwise we can go right to a trial and we can get 6 people here or whatever your trial is, and I can inform them of their right to free travel. His shoulders went up to his ears, and he got up out of his chair and he walked past me into judge's chambers, and he looked at me and says, good luck getting that on the record. He went into chambers for 10 minutes, came out. They dismissed everything, and after that, the judge was, no, sir, Mr. Haygood, you don't need to apologize to us for anything. We have to realize who we are and what the game really is, and that was all part of my learning curve. I didn't have all the answers then. I still don't, but every little piece. And if you spend any time in a federal courtroom doing your own bankruptcy or doing years of custody battles, and when you start putting the judge's trustee and other things on your paperwork, you get put into a different courtroom, and they do not want to read that paperwork on the record. They start reading stuff from 2 and 3 weeks before that you filed. It's all a learning curve, and it doesn't happen overnight. But I have a kid who's up in Oregon. His dad wants me to help him. They did a family stamp on a ticket, and now he's got to go. Now they're sending him a letter to drag him back 2.5 hours, and there's $400 and some, and now he's supposed to come over, and I got to help him look at his paperwork and tell him what to go say in the courtroom.
Yeah.
So we'll have another.
You don't want to use trust or trustee.
No, that was 4 years ago, Patrick. That was 4 years ago.
Yeah. Now it is strictly we make them the executor.
No, I think I got a pretty good idea from what we've been going through the last few months and what's been going on the last couple of weeks. When I look at his paperwork, I think I know what he's going to be able to say and how he's going to. I'm going to have to coach him a little bit so he can go up there into Oregon and do what he needs to do.
Yeah. Because there is no trust in this country. In fact, trusts are totally fraud. Okay? Yeah. You look at a trust, and basically it's total fraud, all set up for the bankers and for the attorneys. Who makes up all the trust? Attorneys. Yeah, you can just go right there and see that basically it's a fraudulent system. You want an estate. A private
estate. That's why it's the United States of America.
Okay, anybody else?
Thank you for that. That was very interesting.
Now, that's what you guys need to do a little more, get a little more feedback from a few other people out here, other than just listening to this nitwit here.
Yeah.
Me.
I need to tell her, You need to
is
stop.
nonconformist.
Mute yourself out, dummy. You don't know how to do that.
Okay, anybody else?
Come on, people. I don't have no knives. I'm in the early part of the show.
Okay, go ahead and terminate it, Tom.
Okay, very good.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank
If you guys want to continue talking, go ahead and talk amongst yourself. I'll get off here and let you guys have a free reign. Okay.
Thank you
guys
very,
take care.
very much. Thank you very much for this, Patrick. We'll work on it.
Yeah, I'll get with Tom and try and get this other money order up to him, and then if I think we need to talk it over tomorrow night, we may come on there and throw a quick call together to cover it too. Okay.
Okay. Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Hey, Thomas,
Yes.
are you gonna just send out the money order? It's detail.
Yes.
You're gonna try to send out like a $500,000 or something money order. Which one are you?
I'm going to send out something like a 60,000 money order. Get me some immediate
something
cash.
small.
Good, you got small.
Well, there's two money orders. There's one to the I printed them out. All right, here it is. There's one. Yeah, there's two money orders. The U.S. Post Office money order and the American Executive Postmaster money order. So there's two of them that he gave us. Did he say he has another one he's working on?
Yes, it's the U.S. Treasury money order. He wants me to remove all those other money orders.
So we should wait for that one and then just send that one in.
No, it's out there. It got posted this morning.
Wait, hold on.
3, 4.
Is that the U.S. Postal/Treasury account?
No, it's in the Postal Banking directory folder, and it's U.S. Treasury money order.
Oh, no, I don't have that. Okay. I'll look it up. All right, I'll mute it.
But the one you're going to use is the American Executive Postmaster?
Yes, it has. The title is American Executive Postmaster Money Order. But since it's to the U.S. Treasury, it's drawn on the Executive U.S. Citizenship Treasury account, and so that's why we're calling it the U.S. Treasury Money Order.
Okay, and I'm just a little confused about what numbers go where. Like the Executive Post, that's our zip code, right?
I believe that's still our 9-digit zip code.
And the Treasury routing is our Social Security number, right?
Yes.
And the U.S. citizenship is our COLB.
Right.
And
wait a minute, it could be either passport or COLB, right?
Right.
That's here.
No, okay. I think he's saying that we'd be using the passport for the Federal Reserve money order that we're coming up with.
Yeah.
But on this one, it was definitely just a COLB.
Yeah.
And what if you don't have a COLB, you have a naturalization? I'll use my naturalization number?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Go ahead, Pat.
And then on the back...
the American Executive Postmaster, right under the money order, is the 9-digit zip code, too.
Yes. Okay, that's it.
Okay.
And then on the back, if we do a car, we put the VIN number and the dealership and
the set-off item is the VIN number.
Got it.
Then the name would be the dealer. You would have to ask for his EIN number.
Yeah. Now, if we were going to use this for money, we would just put our name and our EIN.
Well, yes, that's the one I asked about. It got pushed around a little, but that's okay.
He was a little strung out.
What the hell? I mean, we're learning so much from him. I can handle that.
Yeah.
Hey, on the money order on the front, what can we put in the memo? I just don't like to leave it blank.
Well, I since I'm going to have this made out to my estate and put my EIN number there, I'm just saying for maintenance and expenses to the estate.
Oh, okay, so just for expenses maybe.
Yeah.
And then if it's for our car, it's just for delivery.
Yeah.
of
whatever you
automobile.
want again.
So, and since I don't have and he's got it right. I mean, I should have thought of it. He said it before. I don't have a bank account set up for that now, but get a check for $60,000 and wave it in front of him. I've got a bank account set up.
Now,
you can put your routing number and your account number there.
No, you have to put an EIN number for the mailing of the U.S. Treasury back to me.
And use this program. It just does.
Somebody's talking.
That's Marvel.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Marvel, use at 716.
Actually, I'm using a Skype number. It's supposed to be like 708, but Skype messed up my number some kind of way, so I don't know how.
Okay, you're the Skype. 661. Yes, you're coming in with a Skype server. We're hearing you in the back. We're hearing you in the background. Please star 6 out until you're ready to ask us something.
Right. I'm sorry.
Hey, Patricia, did you on the back of the money order as a Treasury warehouse claim? That's where you put the VIN or your account number or something?
Yeah.
Loan number, mortgage number, whatever.
Whatever, yeah. I was thinking your
you could do your mortgage, couldn't you?
Sure.
Yeah, or you can put your checking account info in there, right?
Or utility bill or whatever.
Or whatever it is. Oh, okay.
But I like better if you just veto the bill.
Yeah. I would just get the bill, get the check or whatever.
Well,
right.
They would mail you a check if you don't put your checking account, correct? Or no?
No, I think you have to. With the way he has there, you have to get them to mail a check. You can't tell them with this approach to deposit in your account.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And now, Gita, did you get information from Amora how to open up a checking account with your EIN, your 98 EIN?
No.
Yeah, if you're going to call it a trust, they're going to ask for trust documents.
Yeah. I thought somebody...
Of course, if you have a big check, for $500 million, when you terminate your account and you have it sent to the EIN, I bet you
they wouldn't turn it down.
They'll think of something.
But somebody opened a checking account for an EIN, and they didn't.
No, I didn't.
So somebody.
Not me.
Yeah.
I wish, but not me.
Well, when you do it, they're usually for the EIN. They want something for the board of directors.
Mhm.
Of course, we're the board. We're the whole board of directors. We have,
well,
as executive, we're in charge, and then we have various robots running around.
If Amor gets a hold of you or contacts you, he has a method to set it up with the 98.
Ask if he's on the call.
I don't think he is. More are you here?
Bill, are you on the call? Didn't you do this also? Bill, are you still there?
Yeah, that was it. Bill did it.
Bill, are you there?
I don't think so. He was Plummer. His last name is Plummer.
I'm not sure.
I think when he spoke, it came up here saying he was Mr. Plummer. So, no, I don't think he's here right now. But I will put a note to myself on more about 98.
Okay.
I didn't hear, Tom. Did you stop the recording?
No, I haven't. The recording's still on.
Okay, that's fine.
Are you guys using the Executive Money Order Rev 1 document, or is there a newer one than that?
Yes, there's a newer one than that.
Okay.
Was put up today.
All right.
Yeah, April 16th.
Okay, I'm looking for it. It's
and all those other money orders are to be removed.
Good. I can purge my desktop.
Okay. I found it. It's at the very bottom of the file.
Well, it depends on whether you have it sorted in date. Yes, if it's alphabetical, U.S. will probably go at the bottom.
Yeah, U.S. Treasury or Monitor PDF. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
It sounded like you were talking about a new one. That's why I asked.
Yeah, it's a new one. U.S. Treasury money order is the new one.
Now, did you understand about the I got them up. I hope my computer's slow, so I didn't get up the circulars or the article. That form we need to fill out for the black card. With the
yeah, I more or less understand it. I need to go through it more carefully. I'm going to focus on this tomorrow and get this sorted out.
The money order first.
To get a money order out and also veto my bills.
Yeah.
Now, one of my choices is the electricity bill. I may end up paying it because I'm allowed to pay up to 3 times the amount of the bill, and it turns out that the charge for the first month is 3 times the normal charge, so that I can end up paying for 9 months all at once.
Uh-huh.
And they won't give me a bill for a year in advance.
Tom, can you veto anything like a ambulance bill, hospital bill, those kind of things?
Sure. Anything that operates in interstate commerce. You know, you can't probably veto something in a mom and pop store.
No, I guess I wouldn't bother with that anyway.
Right. For that, write a money order to yourself, get some money and pay for cash with that.
This, I mean, I'm looking at this stuff. I mean, even after we do this money order document, the other stuff, I mean, it's going to be sweet.
Yeah, what we have to do to make sure we understand that, we ought to mock up one with all the stamps and fingerprints on that, and make sure we have that all, so certificate of mailing and these extra labels,
mm-hmm.
and make sure we all understand and do that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do a mock-up one that we can share, you know, with some,
on
Skype.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, on Skype or whatever, because it's important to make sure we have it together right.
Because there's
Right.
a lot of pages to this document. I mean, there's a lot of appendix.
Oh, no. Right now, I think all he wants to do is to get the first page of the Appendix 1, which is getting the master account.
Okay.
Yes.
Then there's another form in there for getting sub-accounts, which we're not going to be.
Yeah. So just
then there's another form where you can arrange for intermediate correspondent bank between you and the Federal Reserve.
Right.
And if you do that, then you have to sign a pass-through agreement.
Right.
But I don't think we need any of those right now.
Oh, so he's just talking about the first document.
I think he's only talking about page 1, and the reason I downloaded the 18 pages is because it contains a whole bunch of definitions, and the whole operating circular manual, it describes all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
But what I found very interesting in looking at it is it doesn't define a financial institution.
Right.
I mean, it defines the things that are
they do,
but
not
that are called institutions, but it doesn't define institution itself.
Right.
And we are, as executives, a financial institution.
Right.
Yeah, Tom's right. All he wants is for us to be able to get our foot in the door and be recognized,
right.
and be able to function.
Right. Now, from what he's saying, we're going to go in and look more closely at the FedWire and ACH. ACH means Automated Clearinghouse.
Uh-huh.
Right.
There's Fed ACH and FedWire.
And that's the number on the back of your Social Security card?
No, I don't think we're going to be using that as a routing number anymore. ACH allows
No,
you
as the ABA number, he said. The ABA number.
Yes, the ABA number,
right.
But by getting the ACH, that allow us to continue doing these online payments that we're doing.
Right.
And that will probably give us the authorization and stop the rejection of some of them that we're seeing.
Right. I think this is awesome. I'm so excited.
So, Tom, were you able to post that downloaded website onto eConcurrent?
Yes, it's there.
All right, awesome.
When did you post it, Tom? I don't see it.
It's in the directory TFN. Go to eConcurrent/divine. eConcurrent.com/divine. Directory is TFM. That's probably not the right thing, but I did it for Treasury Financial Management.
Was that this morning or tonight?
Pardon?
Did you post it this morning or tonight?
No, they had me download a whole bunch of stuff from the Treasury Financial Management System. It's some 72 megabytes of stuff, 171 files.
Tom?
Yeah, I heard you guys talking about the ABA and the ACH, so I actually came in towards the end of the call. I kind of missed everything, but...
Yeah, go back. It's a short call. It'll be easy to process.
Yeah.
Make sure you download the forms and have them in front of you. And in fact, in a way, it's easier to rehear the call because you can have the forms and hit pause if you don't know exactly what he's saying, then we can go look for it and then resume play.
All right.
Tom,
yeah.
Your copy of the money order, is it one that we can fill in online?
Yes, you can. The postal one that he has there, you can fill it in online by going to pdfescape.com.
Escape?
pdfescape.com.
Escape.com. Thank you.
And then you go up there, you upload the document, and there are several features there, but the only one you need is, when he sends me the fax, it has the normal fax header on it.
Right.
I upload it to pdf.com, and I use the whiteout of the fax header. And then I take this and I bring it up in Adobe Acrobat and run the character recognition. And that's so that you can copy and paste text from it if you want to. But the other thing it does is when you send the fax, it normally twists the paper a little bit. And Adobe Acrobat straightens it out so it's square again.
So do you have the regular Acrobat program, or do you have an advanced one?
I have the Acrobat program, but I find it easier to insert text on documents with PDF Escape than to try to figure out what Acrobat is doing.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you can do it all right there at PDF Escape.
Okay.
Yeah, when you say text and you click, there's a little box up at the, on the line which says you can set the typeface that you want to use, the font size that you want to use, and you can also set bold and underline too.
Oh, great. So you just white out all the headings from the fax and then just put it in there?
Yeah, well, I've already removed the fax headings when I put it up to the site.
Yeah.
I basically removed the fax headings, made it a character so you can copy and paste it, and straighten out the pages.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Now, what I really would like to do is figure out how to take his snake flag, because I have a yellow version. If I could figure out how to put a color copy of that snake flag on there, I'd love to do that.
Oh, that would be nice. Whoa.
Because I did one of these money orders when it was a postal money order, and I did it on parchment paper. And when you do it that way, even with the type slightly fuzzy on the money order, doing the type through PDF Escape, it comes out looking quite nice.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And then you put the stamps on it and the thumbprints and emboss it, and then you use the little seal thing to heighten the ink on the seal, and it comes out looking very impressive.
Super. I guess we probably all should get some of the heavier office paper to make these on, to make them look a little bit more professional, you might say.
Yeah. I mean, at some point we might want to go out and get check paper.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You can buy, I think it's called VersaCheck. You can buy VersaCheck on Amazon, but I couldn't find exactly what I wanted, and I was worrying about other things.
Yeah, I used to have some heavier stuff around when I was in business, but I've.
But the parchment paper works nice. It's not expensive. It's got a bit of a texture to it.
Right. Good.
So at least you're not doing it on the Xerox paper.
Right. That would be very good.
Okay?
Okay.
Right.
Any more then?
No, we got something to work on for tomorrow.
Right. It'll probably keep us busy most of the day to process the things that we have. Especially, would be good to do a mock-up of exactly what the mailing looks like.
Okay. Yeah.
I understand the principles, but you know when you go ahead and do it, you can always slip up somehow.
Yeah, definitely when you go to put it on paper.
Right.
Hey, Tom, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Okay, well, you guys already know who this is. I did get in kind of late, which I'm going to have to listen to recording as soon as you bring it up. And, but I don't know why you guys brought up the black card. Obviously.
Well, the reason the black card was brought up because the bad herald. We have a good herald and a bad herald. They made some nasty comments about we're all stupid and he has a black card and he knows what he's doing and we don't.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I'll be glad when people stop doing that. Because you see what I mean? This is something I was bringing up earlier ago. All this stuff is done in secrecy. See, Patrick not trying to do stuff in secrecy, but these people, they got all these weird comments.
Share his information.
All right, well, what's good about this one is at least 3 and maybe 4 people jumped on him.
Good.
Okay, and that's what we all need to do. When that kind of stuff comes up, it shouldn't be just me, the moderator. I'm not making noise. And everyone who jumped on it did it in a very good way.
Okay, well, that was pleasant.
They didn't get unreasonable, and they nailed them. But I think that we didn't say the one thing that it hurts the most is, which Patrick said tonight. Yeah, you may have the black card. You know how to use it.
Excellent.
Right. Well, I challenged him to share his stuff, and he never came back and answered.
Oh, well, I did too. That demonstrated, and he's turned on the insults even higher when I said, "You show us." Nope, I'm the smart one. I don't need to show you anything.
I think he's bored, and this is his way to keep himself from being bored.
Well, if there's something going on, because if he was so much out of the system, why is he wasting his time on the group playing with us?
Absolutely.
But he's not the only one. There's about 4 people who regularly act. There was one guy who about every 3 or 4 weeks was making noise. Oh, I'm so polite. I'm just politely again asking you for any successes.
Right.
And finally, I just put him on moderation.
Yeah, and I wish people stop doing that, though. I mean, because in a way, it seems like they're trying to disrupt us. Right. I mean, because Patrick, he's getting it in right. If he wasn't, then, because look at it this way. Out of all the years Patrick's been doing this, he has never once gotten in trouble. So obviously he's doing things with that honor.
There's something with his approach. Now, in the past, he's been reluctant to discipline people on the website, but when I think they turned so ugly, he has no problem with us doing something about it now. So it would really help that if they act up, that more than me jumps in, because it shows the other part of the group. It's not just one person objecting to it; it's the core of the group objecting to it. And then when I tank them, I don't get blowback out of it.
Well, that's good, because and plus on that black card thing, I filled out the whole forms. I looked at it. I figured it out, but not all of it, because obviously I must have got something wrong. Now, did they call me? No. Did they come visit me? No. Did they send me a card? No. Did they return my papers? No. They didn't return it. They didn't reject it.
What he's saying, though, is that some people have been able to get the black card, but since they haven't set up an account at the Federal Reserve and done some of these authorization moves, they may have the card, but they can't use it.
Right, because he said something really good. He said that they were supposed to take it to their bank. Now that was a plus when I heard him say that.
Yeah.
Right, because that's exactly where you're supposed to go. You know, that's where you're supposed to go. So that was a plus. I enjoyed it.
Right.
So I'm gonna get off and let you guys finish. Go ahead.
Okay. I think one other thing he brought up, but people asking what Federal Reserve Bank to use. I think the easiest thing is whatever bank you are at in your zip code. Call them and ask them what is their Federal Reserve Bank and their routing number.
Yeah.
What Federal Reserve Bank do they use and what's the routing number?
Yeah. I mean,
so wherever you're going to put the money, use that Federal Reserve Bank.
Yeah, because you're using their notes anyway.
Yeah.
So why not? I mean, let them deal with the Treasury and quit dealing with these small banks, because they're the other thieves. So here it is, you're paying a third party when you're dealing with one of them, unless you're dealing with a credit union or something.
Yeah, and what he's saying, from what I gather, what he's saying is once you get the black card and you take it to the bank and you flash it at them, from then on, you can make out your money orders, and you don't have to send them to the Treasury. You can just go deposit them in your account at your bank.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm gonna sit back and I'm piecing some papers together up tonight. From I'm gonna send those off tomorrow to have some of this identification. Use that X on all identifications and send that stuff in. I won't have nothing to do with them no more. So, and then we'll do his other papers. Probably Monday. Get that stuff out of here too.
Well, I'm going to try to clean up a lot of this tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
I was hoping to do it on Monday, but then we keep getting these changes, and each change makes even more sense.
Yeah. Because you can't say all of us know what's going on. We don't. I definitely don't.
Right.
But I'm trying to learn it. And I kind of like he's not. Before, Patrick was throwing like tons of information on us. I mean, every week we look up and we have to do something different. Now it's like one or two things, and it's going within what we was doing previous, so that helps a lot too.
Right. It's just, when he makes the changes, it's not like he's scrapping everything, but he's really making some interesting tweaks.
Yeah. I mean, I don't throw away his old stuff. I got all of it. I'm not. Yeah,
well, the backup site has about 2 years worth of his stuff on it.
Right. Who was that?
I don't know.
I wish they stopped doing that. But you have a great night, Thomas. And,
okay, thank you.
Thomas, could I ask you something?
Sure.
About this Treasury Direct Account Authorization form?
Yes.
I've got a passport coming. Should I wait until it gets here to turn this authorization in?
Does she?
Go ahead and do it.
Well, in fact, are we using the passport number on it? I have to take a look at it. I don't remember that.
I think it asked for the Social Security number. I just wondered if that would, if I didn't have my passport yet before I turned this in.
No, on you're talking about the Federal Reserve Master Account Agreement, right?
It says Treasury Direct Account Authorization. All it asks for is you got to go to a bank and have them verify your.
Where did you get that document?
Off of your site.
Well, we're not working with that just yet.
Oh, we're not? Oh, okay.
No.
All right. I've never heard anybody mention it.
No, what I did, yes, a point I need to make is that this form which I circulated today, and which was the one he was referring to, is actually from 2002.
Oh, okay.
And I found when I went up to the website, someone on the Skype group posted some links to where the Federal Reserve forms were, and there was a whole section of forms, and the one you want is not this form number one. You want the other little one that I posted up on the backup site, but I haven't posted on the Yahoo group, is a 2011 version of the master agreement. And that you can actually fill out much easier in Adobe Acrobat, really an Adobe Acrobat form.
All right. Thank you very much.
But, I mean, if you took, the fields are the same, it's just that the format is different.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. We got it then?
Got it.
Okay, very good. Well, for a short call, we're at almost 2 hours. So
enjoy your program.
I will. Thank you. Okay, I guess unless there's more, I'll shut her down.
Thanks, Tom.
Anyone got something? Okay, see you then. I'm turning off the